Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 console edition video. Today we're going to be talking about the Crownshop because I've gotten a few comments that have asked Noah what is worth buying in the Crownshop. Now I want to start out this video by saying something very important. Look me in the eyes, alright? There is no necessary purchase from the Crownshop to complete this game. You can go front to back while never buying a single thing from the Crownshop except I guess a membership elixir in this game, and that is hands down true every time. I've gotten through this game so many times without purchasing a single pack, and to be honest, I haven't purchased a pack in probably like, I don't know, 5+ years at this point, because realistically, I'm gonna say it right now, nothing in the Crownshop, in my opinion, is worth it enough to spend money on. Because realistically, most of these things, while they can be useful, like most of the gear, they're going to be outgrown or outdone by a gear set within a year anyway, so why use crown gear when you can just use free-to-play gear? Now, there is some exceptions to that, obviously, and I'll go over them in this video, but realistically, not that useful. On top of that, mounts are mostly an aesthetic thing, so unless you're buying a mount purely for the aesthetic, buying a mount from a Crownshop isn't that worth it either. So, enough rambling, enough preamble. I just wanted to mention at the beginning that the short answer to this video for most people is going to be there is nothing worth buying in the Crownshop. So, now that we've gotten that settled, let's actually get started on the Crownshop itself. So to access the Crownshop on console edition, you press the left trigger here, which is on the right side, ironically enough in my camera, but you press left trigger, hold it down, and then you press A, and it will open the Crownshop. Now there are different tabs. I'm going to go tab to tab and tell you kind of what's in it, what's important, you know, what you might want to buy here. Now to start off this entire thing, we're going to just talk about the membership elixir real quick, which is the same price on here as it would be on PC to buy a membership. And obviously a membership is worth buying in this game. It lets you get through the whole game. It, as mentioned in my last video with the Arc 1 Pass, there are multiple benefits like increased backpack space and faster refill energy and whatnot that a member, it just makes it so worth it to get. And it's only 10 bucks a month, which is really, really cheap realistically. And if you even want to get a year, that's like, you know, it's like 60 bucks for a year, which is pretty good deal compared to, you know, some modern games that are 70 bucks for like just an absolute mess of like a 30-hour game. But I digress. Membership elixir, definitely worth it. Now let's start with the pack section. Now the Horde and War pack section, this is where most of your Crownshop gear and mounts are going to come from. Now looking in every pack, you can press this button right here to see what it drops. So you can look at the mounts. So for example, the Fairy K Horde pack has the moon mounts. It has a bunch of mega snacks. And if you keep scrolling, eventually you're going to get to the gear, which if you press down on the right stick, you can see what the gear is for your level. Now, I'm not going to go through every pack individually because realistically, is it worth it to buy most of these? No, but I will go for some standouts so that you kind of know. Now, first off, all of these spellamental packs that you'll see here drop different spells that can be very useful to you. Some aren't in the game yet, like the Celestian spellamental pack isn't in the game yet, but one to look out for is if you're a life, this pack, the Grizzleheim lore pack, drops Ratatoskir's Spin, which is a 4-pip AoE, which is very useful to have, especially earlier in the game. Later game, it's going to be really, really good, and you're going to be able to use it for mob fights all the way up. There are other spells in the spellamental packs that are useful, but that's the one standout, I would say. Realistically, the rest of them, you can look through the spells, see what they do, see whether you want it or not, but most of these spells aren't really necessary besides maybe Rat Spin. Alright everyone, this is Future Noah back again for some more advice. I briefly mentioned it here, but the Celestian Spellamental pack, which isn't in the game yet, once it's in the game, will be worth buying specifically for Death Wizards because it has Ship of Fools, which similar to Rat Spin for life is a 4-pip AoE that a death can get early in the game. So I didn't mention it directly here, but once that's in the game for death, it'll probably be worth buying. Now you can get both of these spells by farming the spell elements somewhere else. So should you buy the pack? No, but if you want to get it even earlier, then you can farm it in the game and you don't want to spend gold keys on the spell elements, whatever, then you can buy them here. It's significantly less effective to buy them than it is to farm them, but if you want to get it early, you can. Now, in terms of the other actual Horde packs themselves, they aren't that good, most of them. Now, there are a few exceptions, and a few exceptions that might be incredibly useful for you, such as the Gulcher's Horde pack drops mounts that give +3 damage. They are the only mounts in the game that give +3 damage. There's also the Battle Narwhal, which gives +2, but that's a completely different topic and a completely different video. But these mounts give you damage, and they're the only damage mounts really in the game, and obviously this bundle can drop all of them, and you can spend potentially tens of thousands of crowns trying to get your schools one, but you know, that's besides the point. Now, I will say, bad part about these is they're ugly. You can look at them right here. These Gulcher mounts are ugly as sin. So if you don't want an ugly mount, if you want to sacrifice your looks for damage, go for it, but otherwise, highly don't recommend it. That's not even talking about the drop rate itself, which you can see the drop rate for all of these, like 1 in 351, which is low. Now, another thing I want to talk about in the Horde Pack section would be Professor's Horde Pack, because Professor's Horde Pack has very specifically something that is very, very good. Now, all of this gear is actually pretty good for your level. If you're getting these at level 60 or level 100 or even 130, the boots tend to be better than all of the gear set boots at that level, like Darkmoor or Waterworks, etc. But the biggest thing in this pack is the Dworgen Havoc Hood. And the reason why is that this hood, if I can go to the spell section, okay, at this level it gives Feint, but I believe once you get to like level 30 plus, it starts dropping the Mass Feint card. Now, you'll be able to long press Y like I just did and go to the spells and make sure that at your level it gives Mass Feint, but Mass Feint is incredibly useful of a card. It is, as it implies, a Mass Feint, so it puts a feint on every single enemy, and if you're a death and you want to support, it is probably one of the most necessary items in the game. And hell, even if you're not a death, if you're another wizard, having the Dworgen Havoc Hood at really any level to get Mass Feint is going to be super useful. So if you have some spare crowns to spend, that would be a good one, and most people in battle will thank you for it. I mean, they won't probably actually thank you, but they'll thank you subliminally in their head. They'll be like, wow, that was really useful to have Mass Feint there. Now, something I don't recommend, and one thing I would avoid, is the Mega Snack Pack, because the Mega Snack Pack is extremely overpriced for what you get. You get 7 Mega Snacks, which is enough to train up usually a pet from like baby to teen, or potentially teen to adult, depending on what Mega Snacks you get. But it is $5 for these 7 Mega Snacks. I'm just gonna flat out say that is just one of the worst deals in the game, when you could go over here to the gardening section and find the evil magma peas and buy 2 evil magma peas, which will guaranteed give you a mega snack every time you harvest them, and you continuously get the seed back. So you can get 2 evil magma pea seeds that last you until the end of time, repeatedly giving you mega snacks, or you can get the mega snack pack for 7 right now. I'm going to tell you right now, never buy the mega snack pack. It's just not worth it, and every time someone buys it, I know subconsciously that they bought it. I can feel it in my head like a signal, and I get disappointed every time. Next up, we have the mount section. Now, first off, never buy a rental mount. I don't know why you ever would, because it is just a absolute waste of crowns, because there are rental mounts at Prospector Zeke in the commons for gold that you can buy that would last you, you know, they only last a day, but it would be much better than spending crowns on it. Now, it looks like you can also buy rental mounts for gold here, but specifically the enchanted broom you can buy for gold. But I don't know why you would buy this when, again, you could buy a 1-day version for 1,000 7 times, which is cheaper than that. I don't really know about that one, KingsIsle. That one's interesting. Now, in terms of the other permanent mounts, realistically, the only one that is worth talking about would be the Marleybone Car, because it gives plus 50% speed, which is better than pretty much every other mount in the game. There are some plus 55s, but usually they require you to spend like 100 on it. Or there are also the 2 passenger mounts, so if you're questing with someone and you join a group, you can get on their mount and lead them around places. It's a pretty cool thing, but beyond those 2 outstanding things, realistically, it's not worth to get any of these, because realistically, spending crowns on this isn't worth it when, as you can see here, if I go to the enchanted broom and press gold, for 50,000 gold, you can buy a permanent enchanted broom, which is what I would recommend doing if you want to mount. Save up 50,000 gold. It's not going to take you nearly as long as you think. You can get that by like the end of Dragonspire for sure, probably even much earlier than that. And you get this mount forever. You don't have to spend any money, whatever. Realistically, buying a mount, if you're spending crowns on it, is really if you want the aesthetic. Otherwise, it's not worth it whatsoever. Now, next up, we have the pet section, and pets are interesting because, for example, during my live stream, I found that the Lifedactyl has the guaranteed talent of Spellproof. Now, that's interesting because it means that first time you train this up, it's always going to get Spellproof, which is really good to have. Now, in terms of these other pets, I don't think any of them are really that worth it. The Lifedactyl is interesting, but I wouldn't call it like an insanely good pet to give. But if you look at all of these, you can see what possible talents they get, and you know, you can kind of decide whether you want it or not. But I'm going to say right now, getting a pet in the Crownshop is just not worth it. Like spending, like some of these are like $20 to buy these pets, and yeah, that's just not, that's not the play. Not the play at all, when you can just like train up a pet that you get from your school quest, and at some point in the future there are going to be pets in the kiosk that you can obviously hatch with, which will get you the talents that you actually want. The only reason you'd buy one of these pets is if you want the pet body itself, like the look of the pet, and I don't know why you would spend $20 on some of these. Like the Stormhound, that is $25. That's actually over $25. That's like $30 for this Stormhound pet, which I don't know why you would ever buy in your life, other than like the fact that, I don't know, it looks kind of okay. Pet snack packs, once again, don't buy any of these. Don't buy the mega snack pack, and the snack pack is, you know, a little bit like, it's cheap, but you can just buy these pet snacks in the bazaar. I don't know why you would ever buy one of these packs. This provision pack gives you some potential jewels, but you can farm most of these from different enemies in the game. If you're looking for a very specific like thing, like one of these specific jewels, just go find what enemy drops it. Now this drops energy gear as well, but you can get energy gear for free potentially from farming certain things, or some of these packs also drop energy gear. Okay, one of these packs gives energy gear, but I don't know what it is, and let me tell you, it's probably not worth buying packs for energy gear, but I digress. Next section, we have gold and Lunari. Please, please, please look me in the eyes right now. Never spend crowns on gold. There is no universe where it is worth it to spend crowns on gold or Lunari. Like, either of these, not worth it whatsoever. I mean, look at this. This is specifically priced to be over $5, so you need to spend potentially more than that, probably 10, to buy 50,000 gold. And let me tell you, if you have a Winter Tusk or post Winter Tusk, like if we're talking like Arc 2, Arc 3 worlds, you can get 50,000 gold in probably 5 minutes. That is just how ridiculous this is. Like, there's a boss in Vesterland in Winter Tusk that you can farm and get 50,000 gold like every 5 to 10 minutes, and you can do that until the end of time. So I don't know why on earth you would ever buy one of these gold things. I think it's literally just there to scam people who don't know better. If you buy one of these, I'm sorry, but you're kind of dumb. Just please don't buy one of these ever. If you do, know that you have lost any respect I would have had for you. Next up, we have Elixirs. Now, I have videos in the past talking about Elixirs and kind of my opinions on them, but most Elixirs probably aren't worth it. I talked about the membership one, but the only ones I would say potentially are worth it would be like the Expand Backpack Elixir can be useful. I don't think it's probably worth it for most people, but it can be. Additional character slot, if you want to have one of each school, you could buy, but that's like $30, so I don't know why you'd buy that. The Energy Elixir, obviously for training up pets or gardening or fishing, can be useful. I probably wouldn't recommend it. I would just wait patiently for your energy to refill, but if you want to buy one, you can. Or, fun fact, your energy refills every time you level up. So create a new character if you're training up a pet, and then quest up that character, and every time they level up, they're going to fill up their energy, and then you can train that pet. Honestly, there's so many things in this game that is just a waste of crowns because there are other ways around it. The hatching elixir is also a waste of crowns because you can spend gold to hatch pets, so I don't know why you would ever buy that. The only other one that could potentially be good would be Puro's potion number 9, which resets the hatching timer, which lets you try to get a pet faster, because if your pet fails, you can instantly hatch again. Now, there are these group elixirs that do the same thing, but for a group. If you want, you can buy one of those. I don't know. Up to you. Now, let's talk about clothing bundles. I'm gonna say most of these are not worth it whatsoever. These starter bundles are currently on sale, and I don't think any of them are particularly worth getting. They give you damage, and they will last you all the way up to Zeus gear, which is good. Like, even the storm gear gives a solid 19 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like it's not bad. And it comes with a starter mount, which is pretty good. So I don't know, like in terms of deals, when it's on sale like this for a little over $10, it's not that bad. But when it's 7,500 crowns, probably not worth getting, if I'm going to be honest. All the other gear sets here, definitely I would not recommend getting, because there are much better gear that you can just farm for. Now, all of these other categories here for gear, I don't think are that important to mention. There are like some potentially useful things we can talk about here, like the Ascendant Staff gives you an extra pip at level 1 if you want to spend $5 on it. The Bolt Blade gives you an extra pip at level 15 if you wanna potentially buy that. I don't know why you would. One thing that is really worth buying is the Heart Steel right here for 260 crowns. It's probably one of the best items for crown ratio, because you get a Athame that gives you 5 resist, and it's only like, I don't even know, what is that? That's much less than $1. That's only like technically a few cents. So if you buy $5 worth of crowns, you aren't buying a Heart Steel. It's almost like you're just being stupid, because you could just buy a Heart Steel. And this Athame will last you probably all the way up to the level 40 range if you keep it, because 5 resist is going to be good. You know, like it's not amazing, but it's good enough that it is worth probably spending crowns on. Rings, transformations, all not worth getting. Hairstyles can be good if you want hair. If you want hair to stitch, you can get hair, so that's cool. I don't know if it's worth spending crowns on, but they're only like 300 or less crowns, which isn't bad. Realistically, houses aren't worth spending crowns on, but you can buy some of these for gold. So I would recommend getting the Red Barn Farm at some point in your playthrough, because it is 125,000 gold, which seems like a lot now, but later on, that's not going to be that much. And for that, you get a boost to gardening. So if you do gardening at some point and you do it in the Red Barn Farm, it boosts the growth rate of plants. So, admittedly, I forgot that it would do that. So we're at the Red Barn Farm now. Never mind. We've left because I opened the Crownshop again. Red Barn Farm's probably worth it. I briefly went over Evil Magma Peas earlier, or you could buy Couch Potatoes. Both of them give Mega Snacks, but you can farm for both of these. And like later on in like Mirage and stuff, a lot of enemies drop Evil Magma Peas and Couch Potatoes. So again, if you want to be lazy, spend your crowns on it, but otherwise no. Furniture sets, no. Furniture, probably not. The Exalted Duels, you can just farm for. I don't even know if Exalted Duels are in the game. You can just farm for these. So, I don't know. If you want Exalted Duels, there they are. There are games here, which are probably not worth it. There are teleporters here, which are definitely not worth it, because certain enemies will drop them later on. And then finally, we get into the gameplay section. There are raid items. I personally don't do raids, and I imagine console is going to be pretty rough unless you're in a Discord server. There are teleport effects, which are obviously completely cosmetic. Same with emotes, which are completely cosmetic. Fishing, there are aquariums. So if you want to display your fish, go for it, but I probably wouldn't recommend spending crowns on it. There are these reagent bundles, which I don't recommend getting, because most of these reagents, like if you just aren't lazy, you can just go farm for them and get these in like a very low amount of time, like specifically like stone block. If you ever buy this bundle, it's just the biggest waste of 500 crowns ever, because you can just go pick up stone block. Same with scrap iron or ore or black lotus, any of them that you can just pick up, not worth it. Henchmen are an interesting one, because I don't think henchmen are really worth it unless you're stuck on a battle and you want to spend money on one of these like very low level ones. Like I've bought level like 50 or 60 storm henchmen a few times when I'm stuck in a solo encounter, but I wouldn't recommend like ever buying these like max level ones, because they are a lot of crowns and usually not worth getting, unless again you are really stuck on something. Then you can spend money on these henchmen. And if you want to know how to summon henchmen on console, I'll show you real quick just so you kind of know. And then that's pretty much it for the Crownshop. So if you go to the battle and you press the back button, or whatever button this is on PlayStation right here, this symbol, you press it, and then you can go to buy a henchman, and then you can spend money on a henchman right there and summon one in battle. Now that right there is pretty much everything that you can spend crowns on in the Crownshop. There are other things you can spend crowns on, but I'm not really going to go over them that much in this video. You can spend crowns on areas, which I probably don't recommend unless it's like Aquila or something. Otherwise, probably not. And you can also spend money to stitch items in this game, which if you want to create your own stitch, at some point you're going to do this, and this is probably worth it just purely on an aesthetic level. You can you can obviously stitch gear. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much all you can spend crowns on in this game. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that my opinions showed you kind of what you should and shouldn't buy. Again, let me just reiterate at the end of this video, realistically, there is nothing in this game that you should spend crowns on, in my opinion, in the crown shop. The crown shop is just not worth it, and it is purely King's Isle's kind of bait to get money, because most of those items just aren't worth it, because like all the gear you're just going to outgrow. Like unless you're level 170, buying the gear isn't useful, because in 10 levels you're going to have gear that's better than it anyway from, you know, another dungeon that you can farm, whatever. Mounts are purely aesthetic, and then obviously I went over the rest of them. I just don't think it's worth it in any situation. In the comments below, if you want to, you can, you know, let me know what you would recommend spending crowns on, if there's something I missed, whatever. But I think the general answer is just don't buy crowns for the crown shop. Just buy a membership and play the game like a normal person. Anyways, that's it for today. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like at the sub button. Again, in the comments below, let me know like what you would recommend spending crowns on, if I missed something, but I feel like I did a pretty good job of what's worth spending crowns on. But otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.